The Medic overall is a bit of a weird class, which was actually heavily overpowered in Killing Floor 1. With a buff to healing and a powerful weapon list to boot, the Medic was actually really viable for a solo run build, and was highly praised. Or well, it was for me, I can't really say for anybody else. The Medic in Killing Floor 2, however, well, that was reworked a fair bit. Reducing the overall damage when compared to the first game, the Medic fitted back into more of a support role, as its primary focus, although certain skills could let you change your playstyle to be a battle medic, was mainly focused on healing your team. But originally it was never enough. Even with the perk benefits, the weapons were still fairly weak. However, with the weapon upgrade system in place, this might actually change. But as it's mainly focusing on the tier 2 weapons at the moment, we will today be looking at the HMTech 101 Medi pistol. Honestly, I wasn't really eager to give this weapon a spotlight, as I tend to get rid of it after the first wave, but upon request and statements saying this weapon becomes overpowered, my curiosity peaks, and I decided, what the hell, let's give it a try. So first things first, obviously the Medic starter pistol is sometimes used with Survivalist, but actually this has also got another benefit if you're using Gunslinger, as you can draw benefits from that skill as well, which is quite common for most of the weapons Medic use, and you will see this in due time. So with that out of the way, let's get the base stats out of the way. The HMTech 101 deals a total damage of 20 per shot, with a total of 15 bullets per the magazine, and a total ammo of 255, giving you a fair bit of ammo to play around with, especially when you're aiming for a headshot. With this being a medic weapon though, for assault fire, the pistol will fire a healing dart, and that will give up to a total of 15 HP, using up half the weapon's healing charge and taking a total of 15 seconds to fully recharge. Also, for a fun little fact, if a dart hits a Z, they will actually poison them, dealing damage over time, impacting roughly 33 damage per tick. Now you might be wondering what tick actually means. Honestly, I have no idea. I'm guessing something like tick rate per second. If anybody actually wants to explain this to me, please let me know in the comments below. While I wait for you to call me incompetent on that remark, let's move on to the tier upgrades and see what actually changes. So, as we know, tier 1 starts off at a base damage of 20 per shot. Tier 2 then bumps it up to 34 per shot. Tier 3 then goes up to 40. Tier 4 then pushes it up to 51, and then finally Tier 5 whacks up to 60. So the pistol ends up being 3 times better than the base damage, which for such a little thing is quite remarkable. It's actually stronger than the AF 2011 A1s. Of course, the Magnum and Eagle are way stronger, but still, it's quite impressive for such a little gun. But if you actually want to drag the damage even further, the Medic pistol will also gain benefits from the skill in Medic, with the addition of having 2 skills to choose from in Gunslinger, one being a passive and then one having a little bit of skill behind it. So both Medic and the Gunslinger have a passive benefit, which will either be Bone Breaker from Gunslinger or Battle Surgeon from Medic, which with these you can bump the damage up by 20%, giving it a total of 72 damage per shot. Or if you want to swap over to Gunslinger and use Rack 'em Up, you can actually bump up the total to about 50% extra damage, but that's only if you can keep landing headshots. If you pull this off successfully and have your Gunslinger up to level 25, you can actually get a total damage of 112.5. Again, for such a little gun, this thing is full of surprises. But the tier upgrades don't actually stop working from there. With this being a medic weapon, the upgrades also affect the charge time for the medical syringe, so if we go back a page, to start off with, tier 1 takes roughly about 15 seconds, tier 2 then lowers it to 13.5 seconds, tier 3 then goes down to 12, tier 4 then bumps it down to 10.5 seconds, and then finally tier 5 lowers it all the way to 9 seconds. And it actually gets even better if you get yourself to level 25 with medic, as you'll end up lowering the total recharge rate by about 200%, which pushes it down to 7.5 seconds anyway, meaning tier 5 actually lowers down the recharge time to 4.5 seconds. So basically, overall, you're going to be spamming healing darts like crazy. It doesn't really matter if you hit something anymore, as you'll have more to boot from later on. And from that, where does that leave us now? Well, it actually could leave us with a pistol that might possibly have the potential of changing the meta for Killing Floor 2. Nah, probably not, but it would be funny to think about though, wouldn't it? Well, to keep those trigger happy players interested, let's move on to the last 4 points of this video, and then we'll get back to the grind. As for this one though, I'm actually going to use it via the gunslinger's point of view, because it is stronger and makes more sense, especially if you want to get the full potential of how much damage you can get out of a tier 5 weapon. So to start off with, the tier 5 Medi pistol already does a decent job of clearing out your basic Zeds, Gorefast and Gorefiends. However, with Gorefiends they will require a couple more shots to keep them down, but with 255 bullets spare, you pretty much have no problem as of yet. When you focus on enemies like the Rioter, until it's tier 5 it will do little to no damage to the helmet. However, even at tier 5 it's still a bit hit and miss. Unless you have Rack 'em Up chosen for the gunslinger, then you'll actually have more potential to get them down in a couple of shots. Especially if you've got tier 5 damage to boot, as you can pretty much waste away Rioters in like 2 shots. With the E-dart, it's actually pretty much the same, even without rack 'em up, as I'm pretty sure you can remove an E-dart with roughly 3 to 4 shots to the chest. What makes things better now though is that thanks to the original skins coming back into the game, it's not only easy to see the weak point, the E-darts actually look way better. I do like the steampunk robots, but I feel like these are more sci-fi and I kinda like the shinier look more. It kinda reminds me of a Cyberman from Doctor Who if you think about it. And with the new Halloween skins coming out, maybe we will see that. Tripwire, just take that as a suggestion. From here, moving on to the more tankier Zeds like Scrakes, Quarter Pounders and Flesh Pounds. Scrakes and Quarter Pounders will roughly take an entire magazine from the HMTech 101 pistol to take them down. However, with Flesh Pounds, you'll need to get rack 'em up to a bonus of 5 first before you can do it in just one mag, which means you'll either need to focus on headshot before aiming at them, or use another sidearm first and then swap out to the pistol, which is fine because you'll probably end up buying another pistol anyway. And finally with the bosses, the pistol actually works better than I expected. Once you get the bonus up to 5 again, the pistol works like a treat. It's a bit slower than most weapons, like what you can use for akimbo for the gunslinger, but you can actually beat bosses with it. However, I wouldn't recommend doing this on pub games because there's probably an easier way to get around it. Overall, this is one of the weapons I look at thinking, why on earth would anyone, including myself, get this to tier 5, let alone for a video? Well, I mean, if you wanted to confuse your team, then yeah, by all means, go for it. But seriously, I'd suggest picking up another weapon while you're at it, not just for the sake of ammo, but also to stop yourself from looking like a complete twat.